Happy spring, Minnesota. Hey everybody, Mike from FisherMN here. I thought I'd do a season recap of the 2022 open water season, and I thought I'd start it right from where I started talking to you last year. This is the Rum River, and there's the spot I was talking to you from when I first started bringing you my videos last year. Many of you know that I got my season started a little bit late last year because my dad passed away last summer, and it was just nice to bring you the first video from a spot that he liked to fish. And this river is actually where we started catching some big fish and we ended catching some big fish. So here's some of the smallmouth bass that I caught last summer around the Rum River area. I sure love catching those smallmouth bass, and if you know the Rum River, you know there's some giants in there. Now, smallmouth bass isn't the only thing on the menu in the summer. Also, largemouth bass. And this summer was a summer of learning for me. Many of the lakes in Minnesota were kind of low this summer. So I don't know if it was that or just the bites weren't on when I was there. I'm not sure why the frog bite wasn't as good for me last summer, but you know what? It made me change. And one of the big changes was I picked up a jig rod and I learned how to jig fish. You'll see in some upcoming getting ready for the season videos that I've really gone all out to get some jigs in the old tackle box. But it just wasn't the jig. I came up with the system that worked for me, where starting shallow with the buzzbait and the frog, moving out a little bit in the mid-morning time and fishing with the chatterbait. Man, the chatterbait was great for me last summer. And then when you have to go deep, crankbait and jig, and that kept the bite going into the afternoon. Here's what some of that largemouth bass fishing looked like last summer. Those were just some of the highlights of the season. Check back in my videos, and usually as I'm fishing for some of those fish, I'm giving you some tips and techniques that work for me. I'm no expert, but I'm out on the water quite a bit, so you might be able to pick a few tips up. This summer, I went wherever the bite was taking me, and there weren't too many times when I was targeting northern pike, but that didn't mean I didn't catch a few. Here's a couple of the big northerns I caught in open water 2022 season. Let me know what you think. Do you think I should target more northerns in this 2023 upcoming open water season? I think I'm going to, because man, they put up such a good fight. Many times with my bass lures, I'm using those leaders just so I can get some of those bigger fish in. Well, you know what? Sometimes the bite turns off in the middle of the day for bass and northerns. So what do? You pick up the panfish rod. I had many trips with my buddy Chad where we just targeted panfish, but there was a lot of days too where I was on the water, and if I needed something to get biting, I'd put on the old yellow. If you've watched my channel, the yellow is just a 2-inch grub with a fluorocarbon leader. No minnow needed. They catch plenty of panfish. I have a few videos out on how to use the yellow, as I call it. Take a look at some of the panfish action from this past 2022 open water season. Most of the panfish are released, but I do keep a few for the freezer, and I will say we've been enjoying them this winter. I did get into a couple of, I call them mystery species. Many of you fish for them all the time, but I hooked into a catfish and a sturgeon this summer, and man, that was fun. And it was both on the same lake. You can guarantee I'm gonna go back to that lake next summer. The only species in the lake that I haven't caught, actually 2 species, and one is kind of surprising, was a largemouth bass and a muskie. Not only did I hook some of those mystery species this summer, but I had some frenzies where the fish were biting really good. I had one on the rum in the fall when the smallmouths were biting. I had one ice fishing with my buddy Chad, but my most memorable frenzy of the summer was on Favorite Lake up by Grand Rapids. It was a really slow bite for bass that day, but I came into a 10-minute stretch where I caught about 7 fish, and they were all pretty nice ones. Here's what that frenzy looked like. There we go. All right, another bass, a little better guy this time. Maybe. There's another one. There we go. Working our way up. That's close to a 3-pounder there. Make it 3. Wow. There we go. Another close to 3-pounder. All right. I saw that lure disappear. There we are. Another fish. Oh, there we go. It is a bigger one. Wow. So there you have it, the 2022 open water season. Man, I did enjoy being out there. Being on the water for me is just something that is so peaceful and fun, and it's just a great way to spend a day. Something I've really enjoyed this winter is all the comments from all of you. I so appreciate you watching my videos, and it really helps me to hear from you. Jig fishing is something that has always been mentioned in the comments, and I finally got to it. Sometimes it takes me a little while, but I appreciate those of you who have always kind of pushed me in the right direction for fishing. I'm so looking forward to the 2023 season. I can't wait to see what it brings. Stay tuned. Coming up on FisherMN, I'm gonna have some getting ready for the 2023 open water season videos. There'll be some gear reviews. There's going to be some tackle that I've purchased over the winter. Let me tell you, I've been hitting every sale I can find, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to try to set myself up to catch a lot of fish in the 2023 open water season. Thanks so much for watching this video. I will see you on the next one.